Y'all been asking for it for a while, you have, and what is it? Rabbit. Yep, we're talking doing rabbit two ways. One crispy, golden, fried up so nice and tender, and the other, ooh, a brine solution that is going with what? A Hassan Pfeffer rabbit. Come on, folks, because we're hopping down the trail. Hey, thank y'all for stopping by camp on a wonderful day, and we're back down here on the ranchero we are, and things is looking good. And what are we talking about today? Rabbit. Yeah, you heard me. Hopping.
Where's your rabbit dog?
Well, the rabbit dog, as y'all can see, is on strike. Oh. He says he's had enough. Now, folks, when you talk about rabbit, and you watched any old Western movie or any movie long time ago, what they do? Had a rabbit sticking over the fire. Now, that poor rabbit, they done cooked that thing so he's dried out, but when you didn't have nothing to eat, I bet it was pretty good dining. But we're doing rabbit two ways today, a deep fried rabbit and what? Hassan Pfeffer. Y'all didn't know I could say that word, did you? It comes from Germany, and Hassan means hare, which is really what they call rabbits in that country, and Pfeffer mean pepper. So, hare pepper. Now, it's not something you put on your scalp, it's something that we're going to cook, but we're going to cowboy it up, do our style of Hassan Pfeffer. But folks, when we was little, we eat so many cottontail rabbits going out there, going hunting and just getting us a rabbit. Mom would come back in, she'd either stew it or she'd fry it. Now, we're going to fix it up fried. It's got a golden crust on it that is, oh, so crispy, crunchy. You'll be wanting to dip it in the gravy every bite. Folks, when you get that rabbit, and he's going to come most of the time to you cleaned. But always check that chest cavity, open him up, make sure that the heart is gone, the lungs, the liver, kidneys, all that stuff. And folks be really telling me from over there across the water that if you want to save the best part of that rabbit, save them kidneys and that liver, it is really good. I never have eaten them, but if y'all have, let me know what you think about them. I never was that kind of fan. So to marinate a rabbit is going to help a rabbit get tender. Now, I used to do deer meat the same way, but it really works well on rabbit. And today, for the deep fried rabbit, we're using a buttermilk base. But it's got some thyme, got some rosemary in there, things that are going to help it break down and get tender. Now, when you got it in there soaking, and folks, it needs to soak overnight. Now, you can see when he comes out of there, ain't he pretty, all dressed up, and he got a little green stuff on him, which is some of that rosemary and all that. Now, I like to, if you can, go ahead and get some of this off of him while he's here under that pan, because all that needs to come off, and we're not going to wash this rabbit, but we are going to dry him here in a minute. So let's lay him out here on the board. I done went ahead and split that breastbone open to where he would, because it comes just like that, folks. So I cut it to where he would lay a little flatter in that solution. But folks, I like to start right here at the back. Just go ahead and peel that leg on over there. Come right up here to the front, do the same. And then you can just take that rabbit, and he ought to just twist right out of there. And there you have what you call a rabbit leg. Now, what happened to the other part you put in your pocket for good luck, Shan?
Oh,
yes.
I had a rabbit foot.
Did you? You had a rabbit foot, did you?
Yeah, you remember they had them on keychains.
Did it bring you good luck? It sure did. You got me. That is right. Now, I like to sort of split this up. Now, we got this piece, and if you want to score it to where you sort of think, well, that's pretty even, and then that's pretty even, and then that's pretty even. So just take her through there. Helps if you got a sharp knife, and just chop through that backbone. There is another piece of rabbit. One more piece of rabbit. Another one, and we're not through yet, because see that good loin and all that meat in there? Now, we need to go ahead and get rid of some of this rib. So let's go ahead and break it on out here like this. Pull him down to where you can actually get to that rib meat a little better and get rid of some of that. Because even the big likes more meat on his rabbit than that. So we're going to discard that rib cartilage. Get over here and get this other side. I'll tell you what worked really even better than that would be a hash knife. Now, pull his front leg out of the way a little. Don't get your finger in there. Cut them ribs out. All right, now you can see we got this piece here with this. I like to go ahead and cut them front legs off. Right there, they'll cut just so pretty easy right into cutting right at that joint. You can find it right there. And what's left is what we call not a whole lot. So really, you could stew this down, give it to the beagle, but today we're just going to use these really good cuts right here, folks. And you ask yourself, what does rabbit taste like, Cowboy Kent? Well, to me, rabbit tastes like rabbit. But really, folks, it's sort of a cross between maybe a chicken and a pheasant to me, something that's a little more wild and gamey. But these can be fixed in so many ways to where you can make these tender. But folks, we're going to deep fry them. We're going to let them set right here, go ahead and dry them off. Then we'll get the dredge mixed and the wet mixed up, and I'll meet you back over here in just a second. Well, we got that rabbit out, got her cleaned up, got us a towel and dried it all off, picked everything off there pretty clean. And you want it good and dry, because that way it's going to head and let that flour and everything stick to it better. Now I got 2 cups of all-purpose flour in here with a little garlic powder. We're going to add a little baking powder to that. I don't know which way the wind's blowing. Looks like that way today, Shen. And a little bit of cornstarch, because you know the baking powder is going to make it pop a little, but you know the cornstarch is going to make it adhere to that piece of meat that is too, but also give it a little better crust too. Now to that, our original seasoning. Now there ain't but one place to get it that I know of, and that is at KentRollins.com. So we're going to put some of it in there if we can get the wind to blow it in our direction, which is about that much. Some smoked paprika. And everything that we use today, folks, will be listed down there in the little link below for the recipe. Some coarse ground black pepper, some mustard powder, and guess what? There was some celery salt on there also. So when you got all that in there, we need to just mix it up really well. And we got one more secret ingredient that I think goes good in anything that you deep fry anymore. And it just has a very unique flavor to me, it does. And what is that? Whole oregano. Now you can see it as we get it up there close to the camera. It's just been picked and dried. Now folks, this stuff has so much more flavor. Crumble it up good, get her in there, then we're going to put together the wet. Well, for the wet mixture, you see me use what? Some buttermilk, some egg whites, and a secret ingredient that me and only the Colonel Sanders know. A little vinegar or vodka is going to help that pop, and it's going to give it that crispy crustness that's going to take place. It is. Rabbit's dried out, ready to go. Put him in the wet. Let's put him over here in the dry. Make sure that he gets coated well. Now you can double dip them if you want. Today, we're going to go a single time we are. But I'll tell you what, since I really like y'all, we're going to do 1 or 2 pieces double dip so y'all can see the difference. It's like a scientific experiment, it is. We'll just do the back leg, Shannon. That way we'll know one leg was one way, one leg was the other. Now, when you get all these through the wet, through the dry, you want to let them set for about 5 minutes before you ever go to frying, because it sort of helps everything dry out a little, and it's going to help that stick together. Now, we have a mistake here that the butcher guy named Kent left. See this dangling piece of meat? He has got to come off there, he does. And we'll leave him right there. Make sure he gets that coated again. Set him over here. There's one more front leg. Peanut oil is the oil of choice today because it's got a high smoke temp. And you like to fry at 350, but we're going to start this out about 325. So we've let these dry, we have, and in they go. Try to keep, if you can, the same size pieces in the batch that you're going. So we're doing the back and the loins first, and that way everything is sort of the same thickness, same time when we fry. That way everything will come out better. Now, when you're frying rabbit and you first put it in there, and it's the same with any fried food at all, give it a little shake after that flour's had time to settle on there. That way we know it ain't resting right there on the bottom and trying to stick. Now, this is probably going to take, I'd say 4 to 5 minutes, and we will flip over. The oil is covering it, but we will flip it anyway. We want this to be really good and golden brown when it comes out of there and crispy. Won't take long, just watch your oil temperature. Don't let it get above 350. Don't it look pretty? It does, in fact. And ooh, you're going to want to do this batter and this type of dredging mixture for everything you fry, because that crust has got such a great crunch to it. It does. Now, when you be cooking this, remember that them back legs that we double dipped versus here, you can see the difference in the thickness of the crust and everything else. But also, them back legs is probably the densest piece of meat that we have on this rabbit. They're the biggest. They're going to take longer to cook. That's why I always like to cook them last. The tenderest part of this rabbit, and it is all tender because it's been brined, but that loin right down that backbone, I'm going to save that for me and the big for supper here after a while. But folks, I've been craving me some rabbit for a long time. That crispness is good. That crust is good. And Big, I know you didn't have time. You keep such a busy schedule. You didn't get time to go rabbit hunting. Wait. You wait. Be easy. Okay? And there is the Majors. And Duke says, hey, I like rabbit. Here you go, Duker. There's you some rabbit. Sade's way over yonder in timeout, as y'all can see. We'll take that bite to her in just a minute. But folks, that's the fried version. Don't quit me there, because you'll want to be doing what? The bunny hop. Whew, it'll make you hop. Hassenpfeffer, Hassenpfeffer, Hassenpfeffer.
You know a song about Hassenpfeffer?
No, I don't think that guy wrote that song about Hassenpfeffers. I don't. But you remember the first time I ever be hearing Hassenpfeffer? You know where it was?
No, I have no idea.
Looney Tunes.
Oh, yeah.
Yosemite Sam was in this big castle, and they done told him they was going to whoop his butt if he didn't cook the mighty person what? Some Hassenpfeffer. So he got the cookbook out. And what did it say? One wascally wabbit is what he had to have, so he had to go hunt Bugs Bunny to get the Hassenpfeffer. But it is a German dish, really means, if you take it and break it down, rabbit meat that is stewed, tendered, and has pepper on it. Now, we're going to cowboy this up, like I said, and I cut this rabbit up just like I did the other, but we mixed up a totally different brining solution. This is more got some pickling spices in it. It's got some coriander in it. It's got some lemon juice. It's got some stuff that's going to break that down. It too needs to set anywhere from 12 to 24 hours. I prefer the 24. Now, when you pull this out of there, look how white that meat is. Make sure that them little cloves is off there. But you can see how this rabbit has done begin to break down and get tender all in its own. This brining solution right here will work well on anything like wild game, but also really good for turkey, for quail, for pheasant like that. Something that's going to just break this down and make it oh so tender. Stargazer is up here, 4 tablespoons of butter. It has got hot and melted. It has. Rabbit has dried off. We done mix this up, what? Some all-purpose flour and a little bit of that original seasoning. That's all it takes for this, because remember, this was in a brine of a totally different solution. It's going to have a totally different flavor. So flour them lightly. Go ahead and just set them in here. We're going to let them cook about 4 minutes on each side, and then we'll put the rest in there. We got the skillet covered up. Y'all didn't see that happening, did you? I'm sure you got a lid somewhere. You need to cover it when you first put them in there. It's going to help put that heat, bring a bit of that moisture and steaming effect in there. And we've been about 4 minutes on each side there. On each side. We just got one side, we do. So go ahead and turn them. We're just wanting to get a little golden brown and color in there. And that flour is going to help on the end when we get this sauce to make everything sort of thicken up really nice. We'll put the lid back on, cover, and go about another 4 or 5 minutes on that side. And then we'll add some more goodness to it you didn't see coming, to the Hassenpfeffer. Well, been on about another 4 we have. Everything is getting that good look to it. So get them out of there. We're going to place them right here. No, they ain't done yet. No, we just got to get these out of here so we have room for the participant like the butter and the sauce to get in there and get started. Now, if anything sticks to the bottom of that, don't worry, because that is going to help that stuff be even more tasty. So that's where what comes in handy? One of them that there mesquite spatulas, it does. And just give that a good going over there on the bottom. Don't be getting rid of it, because folks, we need it, we do. In go the other 4 tablespoons of butter. Make sure you can get it in there and get things stirred around a little. Hey, a lot of flavor already coming out of that pan it is. So when that butter gets nearly melted, we got us some garlic cloves minced up, we do. Put them in there. We're going to let that cook 2 or 3 minutes till we can get all that good flavor of that garlic going on in there. This is where it might get tricky, and you might think the cowboy's lost his mind, because a Hassenpfeffer really is stewed down meat, but we're making a special sauce here, and I told you we was going to cowboy this up some. So this is sour cream, it is. To that, what? Some of that honey Dijon mustard. Get that in there too. The butter, the garlic, the fond that was left in the pan. When you first get it to where it's just beginning to break down a little and you can see it begin to simmer back again, then it is time for you to what? Call it a day, folks. Go ahead and break out the wine. Now you can use a red or a white. Me, I'm going to use a red because it's really going to help break down that rabbit even some more. You just want to get this stirred around there to where everything's smooth. We're going to get it back to a simmer. Place our rabbit back in there. Let it cook with the lid on, probably about 45 minutes maybe. And you want this on a low simmer. We don't want to burn nothing. We want that rabbit to get fork tender. This has got hot sitting over here by the fire. That's what has happened now, I'm telling you. Place our rabbit in here. And he says, I'm loving that there bath you making for me. Okay. Lid back on. Watch your heat on this. You don't want it to burn. Check it every once in a while. Simmer. If you need to add some more wine to it, or you can thin it with water, either one. You're not going to hurt my feelings. And if you ain't got none of them, you want to put some chicken stock in there, hey, it's okay by me. So keep eye on it. Let it get tender. Don't let it run out of sauce. So about 15-20 minutes in this deal, we'll flip that rabbit over to where everybody can get really good and coated with that sauce. But right now, I gotta slow the heat down on mine. Y'all got a knob. I don't. Hassenpfeffer, Shen. That's what I'm talking about. And folks, I want you to just look at that good rich broth that just cooked right over there. And you really, this dish really goes well like you got some white rice cooked up, or you just got some biscuits. Oh my gosh, you'll be in good shape. The thing that shines through there to me the most really is, I mean, that rabbit is so tender, but that honey Dijon mustard sort of just jumps out there and gives it a little tang. When you mix that with that sour cream and that red wine, whew, folks, this is what's happening. This is what you call 5-star Michelin dining, and we didn't even change the tires on the pickup, not nary a time we didn't. It is what I call good it is. Duker did not like the fried rabbit because Duker's palate is what you call refined. Duker, I need you to try this.
Ooh,
Duker says, I think that'll work right there, so let me get the bigger bite. Big, you could have caught this rabbit. We could have done this earlier. Okay, I don't know where little, there he is under there. I see him now, because we can't leave a pup out. Mage, this is yours. Sade, I'll bring you yours in a minute. You're still on timeout, you are. And folks, this rabbit will what? It'll make you do the hopscotch boogie. What do? You got to have a rabbit pose. You get down here sort of like this. Stick your cottontail out just a little bit. Hop, 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 whoo, whoo. And then you just give it a namaste. Because, ooh, it is some fine dining, it is. Remember, everything that we used in the recipes will be listed down there in the little link below. And if you can't find the recipes there, it's always on the website. Just go to KentRollins.com, hit the recipe tab, it'll take you there for sure. But as always, folks, it is with great honor and pride and pleasure that I tip my hat to all the servicemen and women and all the veterans that have been keeping us safe and that old flag of flying over Camp It Is. We appreciate each and every one of them. To the rest of you, you know your family. We love you all, we do. We never take it for granted that you watch our videos. And if you'll come on in here for the great big hug, because what we talking about? Fried rabbit and Hassan Pfeffer. I'll see you down the Hop Hop Trail. God bless you, each and every one. Mate says, I didn't get no rabbit. You're not a rabbit dog. You're a schnauzer. Schnauzers don't know nothing about rabbits, do they? Shotgun Boogie draws a bead so fine. Look out, bushy tail. Tonight you're gonna be mine. We're talking about rabbits. I'm just gonna put that in there. I didn't want. That's the blooper. Okay.
What is that?
It's an old song. Over on the ridge is a scaly bark, hickory nuts big, you can see them in the dark. Them big fat rabbits are jumping in the grass. Wait till they hear my old shotgun blast. Boom, Shotgun Boogie draws a bead so fine. Look out, bunny rabbit, tonight you're gonna be mine.
Okay.
You like that? I did too. Hadn't heard that song in a long time. We have launched some new apparel, some t-shirts, sweatshirts. We got you fixed up, so be sure and check them out.